Hey there, this is Steve from Web2ink. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started customizing your new e-commerce website. But first, I want to thank you for signing up for our platform and let you know that we are here for you. So if you have any questions, feel free to email or call us. So let's dive right in. Before I show you how anything works, let me tell you a little bit about our platform. Our websites are built on the WordPress platform. This means that you have a standalone website that is very customizable and very SEO friendly. Because our platform is built with WordPress, you will be able to take advantage of the most popular web content management system in the world that powers over 40% of all websites. This means that you can hire outside designers, SEO providers, and marketers to work on your site with no issues. Your Web2ink plan includes high-speed scalable hosting on Google Cloud, daily backups, maintenance, security, and all future updates. This means you'll never have to worry about your website being hacked, your users and customer security, or any other type of site-related issues. Web2ink handles all of that for you. So let's get to the point and show you how to get your new site up and running. So after you sign up for your website and log in, this is the page that you're going to land on. This is the dashboard for the admin for your entire website. So this is the back end of your website where you're going to control every aspect of your website. So let's take a quick look around the dashboard before I jump into anything too specific. When you first log in, you're going to see this welcome screen here, and this video, which is now kind of just a placeholder, will actually be the video I'm recording right now. These are going to be some shortcuts to get your site set up and get some of your initial settings going. But the main navigation and all of the features of your website are going to be down this menu on the left-hand side. We've got about 20 different tutorial videos which will go into each of these in a lot more depth, but this video is going to focus more on the first steps you're going to take to get started. So let's go ahead and start. Well, when you log in, you're going to go through these 5 sections right here. You can do them in any order, but typically if you start at the top and work your way down, that's the best way to approach it. So we'll click on this first one. It says set up your logo, colors, and branding. But before I do that, this top bar right here, whenever I'm working on a website, I like to open the website up in another window so that any changes I make, I can quickly go to the site and refresh it and check. So I have this is a demo site called Steve's Print Shop. So right here is the name of it. If you hover over it, it's going to have a link that says visit site. So I always just right click this and open it up in a new tab. This way I can go to my website and check everything out as I'm making updates. And when you're on your actual website and you're logged into the admin, you're still going to have this bar on the top, which is going to let you do a lot of the customizations. In fact, a lot of people like to just work on the front end of their website and go from page to page and make edits. But let's jump back into the admin and start with this first button here. Set up your logos, colors, and branding. And that's going to take us to this screen. This is called the customizer. So on this part of your website is where you're going to make a lot of global changes or kind of sweeping changes that will affect a lot of different parts of your website. So your colors, your fonts, this is where you're going to set your logo. So let's just go ahead and take a look at some of this stuff here. Let's start with your logo. That's going to be in this section here called header. And then you're going to go to site identity. Right here, this top part where it says logo, I'm just going to click remove. That's going to get rid of the logo that was there, and you can see that logo that was up there just disappeared. So the nice thing is this is going to let you preview your changes in real time. So I'm just going to click on Select Logo, and I'll pick this logo that I have right here, and I'll crop it nice and tightly so it fits in there real good. And then now you can see our logo has appeared there. That's a little bit small. Right now it's at 120 pixels, so let's bump it up to maybe 160 and see how it looks. So bumping it up to 160 kind of pushed this down, but that should be fine because we're looking at a reduced screen size. So let's go ahead and keep that the same. If you want to have a different logo for our Retina devices, you can do that. And if you want to have a different logo for mobile devices, you can upload one here as well. And what you can also do is upload a site icon. This is what's called like a favicon. It's that little logo that is in the tab on your browser. So typically you always want this to be about a 500 pixel by 500 pixel file size, but it's going to shrink it down to be super small. I'll just select that for now. And so now we have a favicon. It just looks like these two little marks here. Site title, this will be there automatically. Site tagline. So everything we need to do on this page is done. If this is the only change you're making, you can go ahead and hit publish. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to publish right quick, and then we'll use this back arrow, and I'm going to show you a few more parts of the customizer. So we're still in the header section. Right here, if you click on primary header, that's going to allow you to choose some different header layouts. So this is kind of logo in the middle with the menu below it. This would be logo on the right side. Not a very common layout. So I'm just going to stick with the standard logo on the left side. And then this will let you choose your layout for mobile, where you have a logo and the menu side by side, or you can choose logo and a menu below it. So let's go ahead and go back, and we'll go back to the main menu in the customizer, and let's look at this section called Global. This is going to affect the typography, the colors on your site, the container, which is the actual width of the content on your site, and then your buttons. So for example, if I choose typography, base typography is going to be like your paragraph text and sections where you have large blocks of text. Your headings are going to be sections like this. So if we go into headings, we can choose a different font family. I kind of like this one, but let's just go ahead and choose something else. So now you can see that font style has changed. That one's pretty bad. I can't even read it. So we'll just pick something else. There we go. That will work for now. Right here you can determine the weight. So that's going to be how thick the lettering is. So if I put it on 200, you can see the lettering got a little bit thinner. If I put it on extra bold, you'll see that this text is pretty wide now. And then there's other controls here. Really what you want to do is you just kind of want to go in here and play with it, get it the way you like. This top portion will handle all your headings. If you're using different headings like H1, H2 heading, you have control over all those settings here. I like to keep most of my headings the same throughout the website just to kind of make everything real nice. Let's back out of the typography and let's take a look at colors. So this is just going to let you determine what color text is, what your main theme color is, what your link color is, what your link hover color is, and what your heading color is. And we'll go back one. Let's take a look at this button section here. So this is going to be how you control how the buttons on your website look. So the color, right now we have a text color of white and a background color of this kind of reddish hot pink. So if I click right here and I want to make my buttons green or blue, it's just going to instantly change and I can preview the way that it looks. So if I make the buttons green, it's going to change. I think I'll just, for now, keep the buttons. Yeah, we'll make them like a little bit darker blue or darker green. There we go. Right here, this is going to be the border. If you have a border around your buttons, so right now I'm just putting a top border on there. So if I lock this and I add, then you're going to see the border goes all the way around. And then right here you can select the color and the color of when you hover over it. So say if I wanted a white border, but then when I hover over it, I want it changed to black, I can set it like that. And you can see that the button is now changing as I hover over it. The border is changed from white to black. Right here, this is where you're going to set the text for the button. Once you set this, it's going to apply to all the buttons on your website. Padding. Padding is basically the space, the empty space within your button that's around the text. Usually I don't make any changes here, but if you wanted to, you certainly could. So say I want to add some padding to the top, I could add some padding to the top. Or say I want the button to be wider, but not taller. I could say make 60 on the right and 60 on the left, and that'll give us a little bit longer button. So let's back out of buttons. We'll back out of global. So global and header are where you're going to set a lot of your colors and your logo. I'm not going to go into these other options right now, but I would definitely encourage you to explore these. Just remember that any changes you make, once you hit publish, those changes will be live to your website. So now that we have that part set, we're going to go ahead and set up our shopping cart and our payments. Now you don't need to set up your payment provider immediately. A lot of the times it's best to get your website looking good, getting your products and your pricing all loaded up the way you want. And then before you actually launch your website, that's when you'll want to make sure you have a payment provider set up. We integrate pretty much with all payment providers. Some of the popular ones are Stripe, PayPal, Authorize.net, and Square. But typically we can integrate with almost any payment provider. So let's go ahead and click on that. And this is going to open up a setup wizard. So this is going to go through several screens where you'll just fill out all of the information. So you'll start with your address, and then you'll go to your payment settings, your shipping settings, and then you'll pretty much be ready. Just for the sake of expediency, I'm not going to make you watch me fill this whole thing out. So I'm just going to click Not Right Now. And then we'll move on to this third button. This is where you're going to set your print pricing and your printing settings. So I'm going to click on this, and this is going to take you to the Web2ink section. So when you sign up, you will automatically be given a client ID and an API key. So you don't really have to do anything on this first page here. But what you're going to want to do is go through each of these pages and fill out all the information. We'll take a quick look at them in this tutorial, but we also have separate tutorials for each one of these tabs here, so that you'll know exactly how all of it works. So on this first tab, Page Setup, you're not going to have to worry about anything up here. All of this is going to automatically be done for you. What you are going to want to take a look at is down here. These are the file types that you're going to let your customers upload to your website in the design tool when they're creating a shirt or creating business cards or creating a poster or a banner. Then right here is your maximum uploaded file size. So if you're a screen printer, 32 megs is probably plenty, but if you're a large format sign shop, you might want to bump this up to 150. Let's see, right down here, you're going to put in your company's physical address and re-upload a copy of your logo. This will make sure that your logo appears on all of your invoices and worksheets. So let's move on right quick, and we'll go to Print Process. So this section is where you're going to build out and create your print pricing. So when you get your website, there's not going to be any print processes in here. But what you can do is you can create them. You can just type it in here, call it screen printing. You can put in a description of screen printing. This is handy. The description is handy because if you have a product with multiple print processes, say you have a polo shirt that you offer screen printing and embroidery on. When your customers are placing their order or they're navigating through your website, and when they open this product in the design tool, they'll be able to see this description, and it's going to help them decide whether or not screen printing or embroidery is right for their project. Right here, you're going to put your number of ink colors. So in this section, I would put in the number of ink colors you can confidently print on dark colored garments. So say if you have a 10 color press, you might put in 8 colors here because you might need a flash station and maybe a cool down station. And then from there, you're going to go down here and build out your price list. I'm not going to get too into this right now because there's a whole tutorial just on this, but basically you're going to add some rows here. You're going to put in your quantity price breaks. 177, 144. This right here pretty much represents your screen charge. These are any per design charges or per design side charges, and these are any flat charges. This first section of 3 columns are all one-time charges. This middle section where it says charges per each piece, these are your per piece prices. So for screen printing, for example, you can have a charge for your first color and then a charge for each additional color, or you can charge per color and just build out a fully custom pricing grid. But I could go on about this part of the website for quite a while, but let's move on to order production. So the order production is basically going to be where you set how long it takes you to do your orders, how long it takes you to print and ship your orders, and then you set up the different productions that your customers can choose from. For example, like a standard production or a rush production or a 3-day production. So let's say your basic standard orders are a 10-day production. In this section here, you can put in the dates for any days of the year that you are closed, and those days will be excluded from your production days. The same goes for Saturday and Sunday. If you don't count those as production days, you can leave these boxes checked. And then you can put in your starting and closing time. Now this isn't necessarily the time that your business opens and closes, but it's the hours that you process orders. So say if you're open from 9 to 5, but you only actually process orders from 9 to 2 o'clock, you might put in 0900 and then 1400 to represent 2 o'clock. These need to be done in 24-hour time format. And I'll go ahead and update that. So now you've kind of created what your standard production time is and how those days are counted. So now we're going to click on Create New Order Production. And right in here, we're going to say standard. That's going to be our standard. And we're going to put in a description. So we're going to say ships within 10 business days. The price is going to be 0. The days will be 10. And the sorting will be 1. The way the sorting works is this is the order that your customers will see it when they're checking out. So they'll see standard first, then rush, and then if you have something beyond rush, they'll see that after the rush. So we've just created our standard production. I'm just going to go ahead and make another one. So it'll take you back to that page. I'm going to click on Create New Order Production again. I'm going to type in rush. And I'm going to say ships within 5. Ships within 5 business days. The price I'm going to say is 25. And right here, price type, you can choose a one-time charge, a additional charge per item, or a percentage of the shopping cart. 95% of the time people do their rush charges as a percentage. So we'll say 5 days, and sorting, this is going to be 2. I'll click on Submit. And that is pretty much it. We've just set up our productions. So let's go to Order Status. So these are the statuses of your orders. Your customers will be able to see their order status when they log into their account, and the color coding and these order statuses will also show up in your production calendar. So all of the ones that are here by default have to stay here and they cannot be removed. These are directly correlated to processing e-commerce payments. So you definitely need to have all of these, but if you have a certain workflow in your shop and you like to have a different status, you can add additional statuses. So I'm going to click on Create a New Order Status. And I'm just simply going to type it in here, waiting on proof approval. I'm going to click on Submit. And we'll go back to that page. You can see right down here, waiting on proof approval. You don't really have to worry about the ordering, but you'll definitely want to set some color codes. So typically the way that this works the best is if you choose either a light or dark background with the opposite type of text on it. So if you have a light color background, you'll want to have dark text, or if you have a dark background, you'll want to have light text. So let's go ahead and move on. We're going to go to user discounts. This is going to be a section where you're going to create different pricing tiers. So say for example you have retail customers, which would be probably your first time buyers or your smaller spenders. And then you might have wholesale customers or you might have contract customers. This is where you can create different pricing tiers, and then you can individually assign customers to certain pricing tiers. So I might want to say retail, or actually I wouldn't even need to do retail, that would be default. So I might say wholesale. 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 And I'm going to say for wholesale, I'm going to give them a 10% discount on the product pricing and a 20% discount on the print pricing. And then you'll have to assign a print process, which you create right here, but I showed you how to do it, but we didn't actually create any print processes. But once you do that, you'll be able to choose which print process you want this discount to apply to. And then if you want, you can say this group is always getting free shipping, or this group is tax exempt, or the minimums do not apply to this group. So once you set this up, just click submit and you're able to make as many pricing tiers or price groups as you want. And you can assign as many customers to a pricing group as you want, or you can even make a pricing group for one individual customer. Alright, let's see, we'll move on to price quotes. Okay, this page is a little bit more complex, and we have an entire maybe 15 or 20 minute tutorial on exactly how this works. But on your website, people are going to be able to get custom pricing on every single product page. So if someone's browsing around for banners or business cards or shirts or polos, they'll be able to get pricing for that product on every single page, on every single product page. But we also have a tool where your customers can just click get an instant price and then quickly browse through the catalog and get a price on a specific item without having to navigate to that particular product page. And this price quoting tool is really powerful. It will save the quotes as PDFs. It will email them to your customers. It will allow your customers to email the quotes back to you with any questions. So definitely check out the tutorial on this price quote section. It's very powerful. A lot of shops that use our platform do all of their price quotes through this functionality, and it's a huge time saver. Custom stores. So if you signed up for a base plan or an elite plan, you are going to be able to offer custom web stores to your customers. This page right here is pretty much for setting the permissions for your stores. And again, there's a whole tutorial just on this, but pretty much you're going to go through here and decide exactly how you want your stores to function. So who is able to open, or well, of course you're going to enable the stores, but who can open a store? You can have it so that anybody can open a store. You can have it so that only you as the admins can open a store, or you can have it so that anybody can open a store, but if you check this box, then the admin will have to approve that store before your customer can add products and customize their store. We of course have profit sharing. So if you have a store for an organization and you want to give them a commission or some profit or some sort of a kickback, our system will handle all of that for you. And this section is just where you're going to decide exactly how you're going to handle those profits. Store item pricing. This will disable the minimums on the stores. Right here you can set a custom pricing or a custom print process to assign custom pricing to your store items. And then this right here is just some additional markup or additional markdown that you can apply to store pricing. So this will let you kind of fine-tune your store pricing. You could say, I want to lower it by 1.5%, or I want to raise the price by 2.25%. It just gives you some added flexibility. The marketplace, I would leave all of these checked as well as all of these checked. But the marketplace is a pretty cool feature. Most print shops don't utilize it. But we do have a tutorial that better explains it. Basically, the marketplace will let your site visitors shop the stores that other users have created or stores that you've created for other users. So once you've got this all filled out how you want, you're just going to click on Submit. And now we're going to move over to Import Products from Web2ink Server. So we keep a repository of thousands and thousands of products on our server. So these will be apparel products, large format products, and your traditional commercial print paper products. We keep those on our server so that you can quickly import them and quickly set up more of your standardized type products. But of course, you'll also be able to upload and create your own completely custom products. Okay, so this is all loaded. This connects directly to our main server. Our main server works in conjunction with your website in order for you to import products, and then we also manage and host all of our clients' websites' design images. So when people are designing items on the website, whether or not they purchase them or not, all of those images and designs are saved, and we host those images on our server, because if we didn't, all of the website servers would be bottoming out in no time, because a lot of the times people upload really large files, and that can really have a major damper on server performance, bandwidth, and just the disk space used. So right here, sorry to go off on that tangent, but this is where you're going to import products. Right here, you're going to put in your markup price. So this is typically only used for the apparel products. Excuse me. So all of our prices are case prices from the distributors like Sanmar, SNS, Alpha Broder. But say you want to mark them all up 25%, you can just put that in there and click Save. And then the rest of this is fairly easy to navigate. This is where you can select by a category. But what most people typically do is they'll choose a vendor, or they'll choose a brand, or they'll go in here and they'll put in specific search terms and SKUs. What I recommend is importing products based on what category they're going to be assigned to on your website. So say if you have a men's t-shirt category, I would import a bunch of men's t-shirts and then assign them to the category. Then maybe a bunch of youth t-shirts, a bunch of ladies t-shirts, a bunch of hoodies. You know, try to import stuff based on what category it's going to end up in. It just makes sorting your products and categorizing everything a little bit easier and quicker. Okay, so now that we've gone through all these, let's just go right back to the dashboard, and we'll move on to the next section. And the next section is import products to get started. So that's the page we were just on. We do have a full tutorial on exactly how this works, so make sure to check that out. But let's go back to the dashboard again. So we've looked at these top four. This last one is set up your custom domain name. So when you sign up for our platform, you're going to have a domain that is web2ink.com / Steve's Print Shop. So that's a temporary domain. That's like what we call like the development domain, where you're going to build out your website, but then whenever you're ready to launch it, you're going to come here. This is basically your account page, and you're just going to type in your custom domain right here, and then you would go to your domain hosting company or whoever you bought your domain with, like GoDaddy or domain.com or Network Solutions, and you would point your domain to this IP address. And then there's also another layer that you can do, and that is to point your CNAME of your domain to the CNAME of our server, which is right here. And then of course there's a little link right here with a tutorial that will show you how to do this, but basically you put in your custom domain, stevesprintshop.com, and then you would point your domain's A record to this IP address. It's very simple. If you have any issues doing it, I would just call your domain host or the person you bought the domain from, and they'll guide you through it. It will literally take 2 minutes. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard. Okay, so now we've gone through these 5 buttons and the initial setup of your website. Right here, this is going to be a link to all of our other tutorial videos. There's over 20 other tutorials. They'll show you how to manage your pricing, your products, how to create new pages, how to update the look and feel of your site. It'll really cover the whole gamut of customizing your website. And then right here, this is a link to our setup services. So the Web2ink DIY plan is really kind of a do-it-yourself platform, but we offer help when it comes to certain types of getting your site set up. So setting up your card, uploading your logo, adding custom pages, all kinds of different services. So if you're having any difficulty or you don't really feel like doing this on your own, you can click this button and check out the different types of setup services that we have. So that'll take you to a page that looks like this. Then right here you can just choose from the options. So we have screen share training sessions, configuring your shopping cart and payment gateway, integrating your site with QuickBooks, integrating your site with UPS, the post office, ShipStation, or any other kind of a shipping service, setting up your logo, your hero images, and your site colors. And then if you wanted, you could select all 5 services, and we would do all of that for you. So let me jump back to the admin right quick. Alright, we are back in the admin now, and there's just a couple more things I'm going to show you in this video, and then what would be a good idea is check out this button that we have right here, this link. This is going to take you to our video tutorial page, and we'll check that out right quick. So what you're going to want to do is definitely watch these top 2 videos. These are more so on setting up your website and getting the pages the way that you want. These links up here are going to take you to YouTube, where there's thousands of tutorials that will apply to creating your website. And then if you scroll down a little bit, right below here, there's about 20 more tutorial videos, and these all pertain to managing your print pricing, managing your web-to-print stores, creating different types of products, basically everything having to do with the customization and selling custom print. So let's go back to the dashboard and we'll wrap this up. I'm going to show you just a couple of other quick little tips to help you get started. Alright, here we go. So one thing you'll notice when you log into your website is there's going to be this message here that says license mismatch. This is for the Elementor Pro page builder. So this is the tool that you're going to be using to build your website. You have Elementor installed, and you have the Pro version installed, but it is just not activated. The Pro version is not activated, the standard version is. So you can use Elementor just fine, but when you do go from your free trial to your paid subscription, we will activate Elementor Pro and you'll have access to all the features. So one other quick thing I was going to show you is if you go to your navigation menu here on the left and go down to Appearance, there's going to be a link here that says Starter Templates. So if you pick a template when you sign up for the plan and you want to adjust it, or you just want to go a whole totally different route, click on this Starter Templates page, and this is going to have about 100 or so website templates, fully made websites, home pages, about us pages, contact pages. You can use these templates to get your website started. Swap out the text, the images, put your logo in there. The ones that say agency, those are premium. So when you go from your trial subscription to your paid subscription, we will activate all of these. So if you go to one that doesn't say agency, like this right here, you can just click Import Complete Site, or you can click Import Homepage Template. But when you activate your paid plan, at the end of your trial, we'll activate it so that you have access to all of the templates. So that is pretty much it for our Getting Started tutorial. Definitely make sure to check out our tutorials page and click on that link right here to view all tutorials. And of course, if you guys run into any issues or have any questions, feel free to email or call us. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.